What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Strength Solutions Podcast. We're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate reviews, check us out on YouTube, leave a comment down below, and subscribe and like. Then, if you're looking for our website, it's strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. Email Strength Solutions Podcast if you have future fitness questions. Social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, Strength Solutions Podcast. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Way better than last week.
Oh, yeah. Everything's good
Way better.
Hopefully.
It's so good that I'm going to say something super controversial.
Oh, we're back in business, man.
Oof. Guys, if you want to live for a long time, do not train like an athlete. Do not train
That's
like
what everybody says on social media, bro.
No. They say train like an athlete.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying do not train like an athlete. Do not.
Don't.
Okay. Maybe not like that extreme. Let's break it down, okay? All right. So I had this topic because it was more about me talking to this client. He's a doctor. And we're talking about like the fine line. And yes, it's great to go push yourself, go hard like athletes do. But there's a fine line where the risk versus the return.
Yeah.
And over time, you got to find that line for yourself as an individual because it can end in detriment, in body parts hurting, maybe lead to a significant injury, brain damage, like if you actually are an athlete, like if you're fighting. So really, that's where I don't think people should really train like an athlete at 100% all the time. Yeah. They're really like, here's the check engine light. It's like, it's still good. It's still good. And then you're like about to teeter over or push it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, there's a time and a place for it every once in a while, but to go into the gym and do it every single day, especially if you're not an athlete, right? Then you really got to question how you're training and why.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you got to start where you are currently. And so, for example, you see a lot of athletes doing plyometrics and really powering through the stuff. They have a foundational strength to their body already. So I'm currently training a young kid and who may be good at a sport, but doesn't have foundational strength training. And I told him, all I'm giving is this month to train you. What we're to focus on is learning how to absorb force properly and use that force. And he's already seeing benefits after week 1 because I'm starting where he's at versus let's do this drill that I saw on Instagram or Facebook, TikTok or whatever that's meant for power and meant for my sport. It's where are you at?
What sport does he play?
Hockey.
Hockey. Interesting.
He's like, I'm about Meg.
That's pretty wild, man. I didn't even know there's places to play hockey here. In
yeah, so you have to be part of like teams. Like it's like a club team thing.
Okay, I see.
So us poor kids probably would not.
Yep. Have no clue what that's like.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to start where you're at as an individual, right? Some people, they have a good foundational strength or they have a natural athleticism to them or they've been working out since a child.
Yeah.
Maybe there's things that you got to like change a little bit. But then you have the individuals that never worked out in their life. And then you're telling them, hey, this is the exact exercises you should do. Well, what does it look like? I could do a barbell back squat. And I was even explaining to this athlete that if I was just going to have you a long time, I would even focus on the barbell back squat because that's not where a lot of load is for a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
I would do it more for like just overall strength and then front squat them mostly.
Yeah.
Get the mobility, the absorption of force of the upper back, using the quads to push off a little bit more and stuff like that. I was like, that's where I would probably focus you a little bit more on. Also when you talk about starting where you're at, you got to think about years of experience for you as an individual. Like, are you comfortable in the weight room? Maybe it's better to start with the machines. Is it better for you to start with cables, something that's stable versus unstable with dumbbells and stuff like that? Or do I mix them a little bit? And then understanding your soreness level.
Yeah, I mean, I have some clients that, I can see during the assessment or things like that working with barbells and dumbbells is just kind of out of the question at the moment. They're really unstable. Maybe they're just not strong enough, right? Some like
I think you're just a bad trainer. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then that's where things like machines and stuff like that come into handy, right? Because they stabilize for you, and then you can just focus on the movement or just getting stronger, weight up, things like that. And then you can always take it back to that, but you gotta, know where you're at, like you said, and don't try and push beyond just because, again, they say, oh, the best shoulder exercise is a barbell shoulder press. Hey, if you're not ready for it, then it's probably not the best exercise for you right now, right?
Yeah. And then another thing is you don't want to train like an athlete because they train so hard. The average person cannot train that hard all the time consistently. Right. And what happens is people see bodybuilders, they see, and they're athletes too, bodybuilders, athletes too, guys, that they cannot do what athletes do, working out 6 days a week. It's just, you're not meant to. Maybe you do 3 days a week. So that's where training like an athlete can fail you, is you're not going to be consistent because you are not an athlete. You do not want to do that workload, but we could do things that you enjoy. Maybe it's like 3 days in the weight room, hiking, walking, talking with friends, going swimming in the pool. You're not getting better at just one specific skill too. That's the downfall of it, right? In longevity, it's about multiple skills that you need over time.
Yeah, that's a good point. That training like an athlete usually revolves around one thing. Like you said, it's hockey, it's bodybuilding, it's your sport, it's whatever it is. And then you're missing out on all these other aspects of it. I saw this comment from some guy one time, and he was like, there was a time in my life where I could bench press 400 pounds, but I couldn't get up off the ground, because I just didn't have the mobility to do it. And so it's like, hey, he might be a great power lifter, but you realize that you're missing out on all these other aspects.
Yeah. Where you should train like an athlete is athletes do a good job being in the transverse plane. And so the average individual is not really good in this plane. That's where I feel like athlete training is a really good thing.
That's a good point.
And what is the transverse plane? Pretend you're doing a chop, like you're twisting.
It's a rotation.
Right. It's a rotation, right? Usually a lot of people do things front and back, and that's it. Also, there's a lot of lateral movement, right? And working side to side. A lot of people do not do that. So, and going backwards is another thing. A lot of people don't go backwards. They always go forward. Athletes have to go backwards and be able to do things backwards. Another example with this kid doing ladder drills. I have him doing anything you do forward, you have to do backwards.
Okay.
And I do that because the brain needs to be able to go backwards a lot. Right? It needs to be able to have proprioception of what's behind him without him even knowing it's there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to teach him how do I get my feet to move without me having to think about it in my brain without turning my head. Because the moment he turns his head in hockey, he's missed a step on the next person.
That's a great point, man.
Right?
Damn.
Or if someone's in basketball, you turn your head, someone cuts right in front of you, you're done. Right? It's about understanding spatial awareness and proprioception. So
it's fantastic.
That's why you need transverse placement. Another thing I like about athletes, for people who do not push themselves hard, is to push themselves hard. So this is the opposite for the hard workers, the people who are, I'm in it all the time and they push themselves to the limit.
Gotta pull back.
Now here's the opposite end. So this is where I think I would fall in more. I don't know about yourself. I need to get the HIIT workout once a week. I need to get the HIIT workout every so often. And it helps not just for energy levels, but your cardiovascular health gets better. Your output and power gets better because now you're pushing a little bit more. And I think that's where this average individual who doesn't push himself would get a benefit. And I'm only saying 1 day a week or 1 day every other week.
I haven't done it in a long time, but when I was running for a little bit, I was pretty much doing it about once a week, maybe twice a week. But man, I could really tell the difference in just.
So we're the guilty party.
Right. Yeah. And it's I could do more of that. And it is a different kind of push. It's a different type of workout. It's a different type of exercise. And you also get different types of benefits. I could tell how it would affect whenever I was lifting, things weren't as winding. I could go longer through a set, those 12, 15 reps weren't as challenging as in the past where I'd be like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing anything more than 6,
And I think they do a great job with their core exercises too. I know a fighter, he does a lot of core, working hard. And I think a lot of people forget the core is interconnected, from the ribs to the pelvis. I pretty much tell people from the knee to the ribs pretty much is your core.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because they're kind of interconnected all the way through.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, we see a lot of athletes do a lot of things, and this topic is going crazy for some reason.
I know.
I have no idea. I've seen Peter Attia talk about it. I've seen Jordan Syed talk about it. And it's about weighted vests. Mm-hmm. And for the average individual, now there's a lot of positives of weighted vests, right? Let's say I lose 20 pounds. I put 20 pounds back on me. It'll help with my metabolic burn rate. It allows me to get to my cardiovascular, breathing harder, a lot quicker without having to go as hard.
Yeah.
Makes me like less efficient. So I have to work harder.
Right.
It can make hiking a little bit better. So there's a lot of positives to weight vest, but do you need it?
I don't know. It depends. Like I just had a client right now.
The word depends. You got to give like actual.
Everybody's mad now.
Viral. Like it has to be this.
I had a client just recently that was going to go participate in an event that's in the desert that revolves around a lot of walking and carrying a pack and doing long, days of walking like 15 miles a day. And I was like, hey, you should probably get a weight vest and we should probably start training and you just have it on because that's going to essentially be what you're going to be doing when you're out there. And so that's a situation where I feel like it was very applicable, right? Now, that is a very specific situation that I don't think most of us are going through. I think, like you said, it's a good way to kind of like, how do I say, like almost compress the benefits of cardio, right? Into maybe a shorter time span where, hey, I don't have an hour to go walking, but if I throw a weight vest on, I kind of get the same benefit as for 30 minutes.
You can raise your heart rate faster.
Raise my heart rate faster. It's a little more challenging. And so, yeah, I mean, there's good and bad to it. I did see Jordan Syed's post about it, and he kind of said, like, I'm going to refrain from making an overall statement on it because, like, the research isn't out yet about it. But, like, I don't know. Sometimes I understand that. Like, we're pretty science-based, I think. But also, I mean, let's just sit here and, like, think about it, right? Like, it's probably going to make cardio a little bit harder, right? It's, maybe
it does build bone density because you're at a heavier
weight, they were
right?
talking about bone density, and it's like heavier people tend to have larger bone density because obviously their body's getting more impact, right, per step. And it's like, I think we can all kind of extrapolate and decide that these things are probably what's going to happen.
They're beneficial, but I don't think you have to do it all the time.
I don't think you need to do it all the time. Yeah. It's kind of like you said, like, hey, if we're doing, for people that maybe need to push themselves a little bit, and you don't want to do that 3 times a week, okay, well, maybe throw a weight vest on and go for a walk, and that's a good way to get that in for that extra week. But now, if you don't have a weight vest, does that mean don't go walk at all because it's not worth it? No. But it's just another tool in the toolbox,
Yeah. I mean, it happens all the time. There's tools everywhere.
Yeah, here there is, for sure.
There's strength training. There's cardio.
Yeah, there's weight vest.
Weight vest. Oh, that's a battle rope.
Yeah, there's so many of it. And all of it has a space. Yeah.
There's a video you showed me, and with weight vest, you lack oxygen. But there's a guy who was an older gentleman.
Yeah.
With the oxygen tank doing box jumps. How crazy is that?
It's pretty nuts, dude. Yeah.
I think that inspires me more than anything else.
Yeah. I forgot his page. It's like Old Fitness Journey or something like that, or Not Too Old Fitness. I can't remember what it is. He's like 76 or so. And it's funny because I saw that video and he kind of said in the caption, like, today I was just feeling a little bit, it was a harder day. I needed my oxygen today. But I still, decided to do a workout. And yeah, I mean, he's got the fucking oxygen tank right next to him while he's plyo box jumping, which, I feel like for a lot of people, we probably say, maybe that's not a great idea. But if you look at this guy's page, he's in great shape, man. He is like, he's honestly pretty ripped for like being in his 70s. So like, this is a person again, where it's like individual basis, right? Him jumping on a box with an oxygen tank is probably fine. He
has the skill set for it.
He's got the skill sets for it. He's trained. It looks like he's trained for a long time. And so he can handle that, right? Well, hey, maybe somebody else that has an oxygen tank, maybe let's not box jump, let's maybe go for a walk
maybe
first.
You don't have an oxygen tank, you can't box jump.
Yeah, you still can't, right? But I think to your point, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you sit there and you go, damn, why am I not in the gym right now? This guy's doing all this shit and I'm sitting here like, yeah, I'm tired.
I think it's inspiring because it just shows how your body's so adaptable.
That's a great point too, yeah.
I think that's the big part for me.
It's like even in a situation like that. And I think it's also a good point to like technology of today where it's like, hey, we could still help this person exercise. They just may need more oxygen or more direct line to it, right? But that doesn't mean that they have to stop exercise forever.
Which in turn helps their bone density, cardiovascular system.
So
It was like when Tyson DeGrassi was talking about how most people literally the reason we live longer is because of modern medicine, and people have forgotten that.
Right. Yeah.
It was like people didn't live past 30 until modern medicine became
and
what it is today.
I like that video because he was like, and that was when there was no air pollution. Everybody's eating berries and meat, and you know, it was all non-processed and all this stuff. And he was like, you never live to see 40, you know, you die at 25. Sure, maybe it's because you got eaten by something or whatever, but other times it's like, oh, they just got old. Sick. Yeah, or they got sick and they died, you know, and so it's like.
I think too many times people are like, oh, Eastern medicine, Western medicine. It's like, bro, if you bring both of them together, you're going to get the best results. And if you're just like for longevity and health, you do cardio and strength training and mobility, and they all work together. You're just like, oh, dang, it works really well.
If you just do what you know you're supposed to do, you know, I hope this isn't like too big of a tangent, but we were watching that Netflix show that I was telling you about, Fit for Life.
You talk about it. Yeah.
And Camille and I, she like paused it one time because she was like, I want to know your opinion on like weight loss. Like, because they were kind of talking about weight loss as like a medical condition, or people being obese, right, as like a medical condition. And I think a lot of people sit and say like, oh, well, they should just work harder, or they should just stop eating, like blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some cases where that is the case, but with a lot of weight loss clients, you know, in today's time and stuff, I don't feel like I need to, let me be careful with what I'm saying. In some cases, I think that you may have to, but in a lot of cases, I don't think that I necessarily need to sit here and educate you on what healthy eating is or those types of things. I mean, even if you don't know, a quick Google search is going to give you, you know, 75% of the way there of like, eating 100. Yeah. You go to ChatGPT, right?
I have this.
I'm 250 pounds. I want to lose weight. What can I, you know, and it's going to give you some pretty good information. So I don't think it's like an education issue or people not trying hard enough or not knowing what to do. I kind of do almost in the line of like, I think it should be looked at a little more clinically, especially in the terms of like behavior, mental health, the psychology aspect of it. Like I was telling her that I was like, I'm at a point where almost if I get a client who wants to lose weight, I'm going to be like, sure, I'll help you, but you need to go see a therapist also, like in conjunction with this, because no matter what it is, because we were talking and we were like, well, we have friends who maybe are overweight, but they seem relatively normal, you know, like they don't seem to have a lot of problems. Their childhood seemed like it was okay. And I was like, well, number one, we may just not know, right? They may just never talk about it. We have no idea.
Perception of their childhood, right?
It's perception of their childhood too. And I was like, and two, it may just be a behavior and habit thing, you know, that they just, I don't know, have developed this habit of after work, I deserve a treat, and me and my partner go and we eat ice cream or something.
Remember, I think I told you about the Grey's Anatomy and the wings?
The pizza and wine guy, right? Yeah. I love that story so much for so many reasons, but yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, okay, then again, it becomes a behavior and habit issue, and that's more psychological. Can I give you pointers and advice? And sure, I can, but at some point it's going to maybe require some deeper looking as to why do I do this? Why do I see food as a treat? Or why do I eat food when I'm bored at home? And those are things that I can't sit necessarily and hold someone's hand through every single time. And so I honestly think weight loss is one of the hardest things ever to do, you know, in terms of like fitness and stuff. Like I tell Camille all the time, I'm like, I'd rather help someone rehab from a knee injury than help them lose weight, because it's just so hard.
Weight loss takes a lot.
Yeah. And it's funny because as a beginning trainer, I used to like beat myself up about it a lot and be like, man, why can't I help people lose weight? Like, what's the problem? I feel like I know what I'm doing and I tell them this, but you know, I never really get any of these dramatic transformations of things and stuff. And it took me a while to realize that, okay, number one, they have to be ready for it, right? Regardless if they come and buy personal training sessions, that does not mean they're ready for it. And two, yeah, a lot of it has to do with like behavioral and things like that. I've had multiple clients come to me who have lost weight dramatically in the past, and then they come to me and are in a worse or same position.
So let's go there, right? Because the Fit for TV is about the Biggest Loser, where they dramatically lose a lot of weight, right? And a lot of the people, I think it goes into what you said earlier, gained a lot of the weight back.
Yeah, a lot of them did.
And it had to do, there's like research, I remember they were doing like, well, their metabolism is much slower than now than it was, and so it's broken. But it has something to do with them dramatically losing weight, but nobody talks about how much lean mass did these people actually lose because they lost weight that dramatically.
Yeah.
You know,
and I wish they kind of went more into how the show was like structured. It was kind of more. I don't know. I guess as a personal trainer, I wanted to be like, well, what did they eat? Who was controlling their food? Like, what were their workouts like?
So it seemed like they were lose weight at all costs. Like they didn't really eat anything. They were like eating 800 calories a day.
Right. Yeah. A lot. And it's funny because there was a doctor on there who was like telling them like, hey, even if the trainers tell you to do this, don't. Like you need to be eating this much or blah, 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 whatever. And who knows? Maybe that was all for TV too, right? Just to create more like drama or something like that. But the other thing that I, look at is, and this is a good point in like social media and also just what you see on TV and stuff like that for people who are trying to lose weight, is those people were in a highly controlled environment, right? They were pretty much on a compound away from people for weeks and months on end with only food that they had to eat, right? Time to sleep, time to work out. And they were working out like 8-9 hours a day, something like that. Just brutal stuff. And then it's like, then they go back to reality and they have no actual skills, right? Because they didn't learn anything. They didn't learn any habit changes. They were just in an environment that forced them to do this a certain way.
And there was one guy who was like, they reached out to the producers and stuff like that about aftercare. I think the show would still be on today if they did the aftercare part.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they messed up because all of them were gaining back because they didn't do aftercare and continue to educate them and continue to change their habits.
Because the reality is, from what it looks like, is that there was no education. It was just lose weight. That's it. Only lose weight. That's all that matters.
To the point, the last season when they decided to stop, the girl was just too scary skinny.
And you could see it in their faces. Like they were horrified.
The trainers were horrified.
Yeah. Freaking Jillian Michaels. Freaking Jillian.
She made a lot of money off it.
She did. Oh, dude, I literally got grossed out when that guy told the story about how he had won the first season, I guess. And that Jillian like went up to him and said, "Oh my God, you just made me a millionaire."
That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts, dude. Like, you're not even going to congratulate him or anything. She was just happy about herself.
Just tells you what type of personality she is.
Right, yeah. And I think we all know at this point, too, like, what kind of person she is, right? But,
yeah.
If you haven't seen it, Fit for Life, is that what it is? Or Fit for TV?
Fit for TV.
Fit for TV. It's like 3 episodes, like maybe 30, 45 minutes each. It's really not that long. Yeah. It's worth a watch, I think.
Yeah. And I think what I think, too, with it, I think it's okay to lose a dramatic amount of weight for a short period of time. The problem was they were losing it for like 6 months straight. So if they did like month 1, they lost that weight and then try to maintain a little bit more. And then month 3 or 4, lose a bunch of weight and then maintain it again. I think their body would have bounced back much better.
Not exciting enough for TV, man.
That's the problem is a lot of things that are exciting are never good for social media or TV.
Right.
And so like that guy you see that's all buff.
One of the point I didn't like click with me. It's funny because I've seen The Biggest Loser, right? I'm sure we all have at some point watched it.
I remember I used to watch it.
Yeah, I remember I used to watch it too. And at one point I remember we were watching the documentary and they were having them like stand on the scale and stuff like that. And one guy had lost like 20 pounds or something like that. And I was like, hey, it's pretty good. And then I was like, wait, they would do weekly weigh-ins. Mm-hmm. He lost 20 pounds in a week.
That's fucking wild.
That's crazy. That's unnatural weight loss. Like that's pushing it to points that shouldn't be at, and when I clicked there, I was like, oh shit, these people are like extreme, dude. This is not safe.
Yeah. And it showed because a lot of them gained their weight back.
Yeah.
And the ones that did it, I wonder psychologically if they're just like beating themselves up in the weight room, doing everything they can to like keep it there.
I would say that everybody looked like they had gained weight from when they had won the show. But definitely. Some of them were worse than others, right? Yeah.
But there is that one lady I felt was more at peace, and she didn't look like she looked like she lost weight from the show because she got left like early in the show.
Is the lady with the glasses? Oh no, I know who you're talking about. Tracy, right?
That's Joelle.
Oh yeah.
Joelle,
yeah.
She like left early. People didn't like her. They made her a villain too, like an angry black woman.
They made her like a persona.
I think she looked the most at peace.
She did, yeah.
I think she figured out that it's mental.
Because I think that's like what she was trying to get at during the show, right? Like that's the things that she was saying, and it just didn't like fall in line with the rhetoric that the show was trying to kind of push.
Oh dang, it's pretty good.
It was good.
So I want to talk about this topic too. We just talk about Jillian Michaels and famous people, but this is my number one pet peeve right now.
Okay.
everybody on social media right now is like taking someone else's video and then commenting on it. And it's driving me insane.
That is a big trend right now. Yeah.
I think like that trend is, I think what I hate is some of them are like, oh yeah, they're good. Oh, this is horrible advice by this trainer. And we're just attacking each other, making people even fear each other's information even more. And I don't know what the end product is of this going to be, but it can't be good.
I think the thing that bothers me the most about it is that it's like under the guise of trying to look collaborative, like trying to be like, oh, let me like talk about this other person's thing because we're all trainers and we're all trying to help and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like you said, some of them are, you know, and then I think as a creator, it's just uncreative to be like showing someone else's video and then going, yeah, that's great advice. Like you didn't do anything. You didn't add anything to it. All you did was repeat what that person said and you're getting like views and likes about it, you know? And then, yeah, there are other people who just
and it's a lot of bigger people who are taking smaller people's videos.
It is. It is. Yeah. There's a girl that I follow. I think her name is Kelly Matthews.
Oh, no, that's that.
And I don't know how big she is, honestly. Like, I don't know what her follower count is. But you sent me, I was surprised because you sent me, what is his name? The hip thrust guy?
Brett Contreras.
Yeah. He was like commenting on one of her videos. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't even know that she was like, you know, popular enough to be picked up by Brett, you know, but it was one of those things that I was just like, and then on that video, he pretty much was like, yeah, everything she said was right. That's pretty much what I would do. Was the one
that I sent you that was like, just do everything for a butt? Pretty much?
Yeah. Yeah. You were like, just do everything. Yeah. And it was just one of those things where, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and like say Brett's not smart or anything like that, but it's just one of those things where I was like, what did we gain from doing this video? Like
you just stole people from her page to see your page.
And you know, again, it's like under the guise of being collaborative because maybe you're going to be like, well, now people will go follow her page because, you know, I said that she's good or whatever. But then I don't like it because then there's like this sort of like council of people, you know, and it's like, it's Brett Contreras, it's Mind Pump, it's Jordan Syed. It's like these people. These
are the only people you listen to.
Yeah, it's like unless they say it's okay, then everybody, then you don't listen to it, you know.
Yeah. And I think it's already happening. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because I mean, the fact that I can name those 3 people off, right, and then there's some other ones too that are kind of like below. But I could make a tier list in my head of the social, like who are the ones that
who's the best quarterback in the league? Who's the next to?
Yeah, and it's like the same thing where it's like, okay, who are the best, you know, at this? Who's next? Who's that? This is the bottom tier, you know, and
then you're not going to listen to people who are right in front of you.
Yeah, or you're not going to listen to people that maybe do have a differing idea, right?
I think we talked about this last week, challenging your concepts.
That is a great point. Yeah, because it's like, because in the reality is too, like you look at Brett, you look at Jordan, you look at Mind Pump, you look at whatever, and it's like they all kind of, you know, jive on the same stuff. And then so we just get all this same information. And there might be someone out there who's like challenging norms. And you're going to be like, well, you know, they didn't say it was okay to listen to. So
and then a year later they say it and then like, oh, it's cool now.
And it's weird, right? Because it's like, I don't know. I
feel you.
I get it.
I get it. All right. So we have 2 studies. First one's losing weight, but gaining weakness. What Ozempic might be doing to your muscles.
Oh, this is what we just talked about.
Weight loss benefits might come at a cost of muscle strength. Even if muscle size remains relatively stable. This raises significant concerns for older adults who are already at risk for muscle loss, reduced mobility. Researchers stress urgent need for human clinical trials to understand those effects fully.
So my solution for this is that if you take Ozempic, you also have to take TRT at the same time. Same way.
Yeah. You got to inject at the same time. If one goes before the other, you're just done.
At the same time, someone has to throw estrogen blocker in your mouth so you swallow. And then you're balanced out. It's good.
You know, it's not so much the Ozempic that's causing the weight loss or strength loss. Think about, okay, if I'm in a calorie deficit right now, you can talk to my strongman friends, people who are actually strong. You eat in a deficit.
Yeah, friends, bro.
I have some outside of you, bro. Okay. Like 2 or 3.
All right, sure.
But like, if you just don't eat in a calorie surplus for like 2 or 3 days, your strength just drops like in 2 or 3 days.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
So you're telling me people who are eating less, they're just not going to be stronger. Like Ozempic is not the problem, right?
Right. And you know, it's tough because I could sit here and be like, but it is because it's making them eat less. And I think that's where the argument comes,
that's
right?
That's where you eat protein. Even, okay, if I was to lose weight, even without Ozempic, I am still going to be weaker
Yeah.
than when I was heavier and stronger.
That was a good argument. Yeah, because you're right. And it's one of those things where we tell people, right, hey, if we're going to lose weight, we're still going to work out, right? We're still going to push weight. You got to make sure you're getting in your protein.
Hold on. Right. You're saying all that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how many times have the client says, why am I getting weaker? And I'm losing weight.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so often. And it's one of those things where, you know, I'm kind of getting it now because I was like 220, I think, when we started here. And I just weighed myself like a while back and I was like 210 or something like that. And yeah, I feel real fucking weak, bro. Like, and I know it's not a huge difference, but for me, it's one of those things where I'm like, whoa, 10
is huge.
10's
5
a lot.
is huge.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm still taking TRT. I'm still trying to work out as much and stuff, but I'm just like, wow, squatting right now is a little tough. You know, when before this was,
I'm on the opposite. I'm on the
I know it's funny that we're kind of like going the opposite way right now, and I feel it. And am I on Ozempic? No. In fact, I'm on TRT. I eat, you know, like protein, and I work out really heavily, and I do barbell work, and I'm still getting weaker, right? And it's just part of it.
While I'm over here bragging about like I'm in a surplus.
Every day Edwin comes in, he's like,
I just fucking did like hundreds, like nothing.
I have a headache. Okay, Edwin. Happy for you.
Yeah. Dude, my libido is amazing. You're like,
cool,
mine's
Edwin.
like shit.
Great.
So if you come to Strength Solutions, you'll know who's the hyper one here. Who's the one joking around.
Yeah, you're so right, bro. Like, literally, dude, I think that's super weird because I didn't really pick it out, but I think that's what it is that I've been eating in a pretty low calorie deficit, and I have just been kind of low energy. And it's funny because you're like bouncing off the walls, and I'm like, what is with this guy?
Like, we were with our clients earlier, and I was just like making jokes.
Yeah. And I'm like yawning.
I'm like, damn, dude, surpluses are so good.
God, I'm going to go home and eat a fuck ton.
Yeah, the wife loves it when I'm a surplus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, second study. Cutting sugar won't curb your sweet tooth. Scientists say randomized control trials show that eating more or less sweet tasting foods didn't change how much people like sweet flavors.
Interesting.
It was a 6-month randomized control trial that challenged the idea that eating more sweet foods increased a person's preference to sweetness. Participants on diets with high, low, and mixed sweetness levels showed no changes in sweet taste preferences, energy, intake, body weight, health markers. The study's rigorous design suggests sweetness alone isn't to blame for overeating. And even after the intervention, participants naturally return to their baseline of sweet intake.
Okay, hold on. I really want to say something about this because it's going to tie into what I was saying earlier. It goes back to it being behavioral and habitual, right?
Okay,
Go for it.
Go.
I think, in my opinion, I think that's what it is. Because, so let's take your pizza and wine Grey's Anatomy example. Mm-hmm. It's not so much, well, okay, look, there is some of that, right? The processing, things like that makes foods hyper palatable. Not going to deny that. Mm-hmm. But it's less about the pizza sitting here making me fat and more about the fact that I eat a whole pizza when I'm watching Grey's Anatomy and I'm doing this habit that I've built. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in the same sense, it's, yeah, you know, is candy high calorie and low nutrient levels? Mm-hmm. Yes. Could it make me fat if I eat a bunch of it? Yes. But it's not so much the candy itself that just magically makes me fat. It's about whatever habit that I'm doing along with it, you know, whether it's binging or whether it's, I used to eat candy when I was happy or something, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
I know exactly, because my favorite part, if you actually read the whole thing, you know, that I sent you, was that the authors were interested because they did adults and the brains are not as pliable, that if they did it with children, would it affect children differently? And I think that's the big answer right there is, if I grow up as a child and I'm used to not tasting sweetness, things that are sweet are going to be too sweet to me.
That's excellent.
Right. And I think once they do the children, they'll find out, to actually help with obesity, it's not about helping adults. It's about helping children.
Damn.
Obesity.
I've like roll with that so hard because even as a child,
roll
you get to do your song.
Yeah.
It's like, did you eat a lot of sweets growing up?
I sure did. And I had sodas.
Okay, you had soda. I didn't really drink soda a lot, but we had a lot of pastries. Mexican family, we eat a lot of pan dulce. And so, boy, do I love me some cake or pastries or whatever. Candy, oh, bro, I could give two shits about. I literally don't ever want candy, but like chocolate and bread and stuff. Chips, yeah, is like things that I'm like hounded for.
Put a bag of chips from this guy. It's gone.
But you're so right, because I've met people, right? And I'm like, you don't like chocolate or you don't like cake or whatever? And they're just like, we just didn't really eat it as, and everybody says that. I just didn't really eat it as a kid, right? But
also, I do think there is a small genetic component.
Sure.
There's always a small genetic component, because I even see it in my own children that my oldest can just eat anything sweet, loves sweets, but can stop on a dime.
Damn.
Where the other two, and I wonder too, like, was it because like when my semen and where I was at in my life, and I was more stressed and Amanda was more stressed, did we pass on some of that through like just the fertility part of
I'm sure we done a research article about that.
I know we kind of did.
I think it was like when women are more stressed, like the child ends up having like a higher chance of like having a heart attack or something like that. So, but yeah, I mean, those are super good points. It's, I don't know. I think it just always comes down to behavior and habits.
I think you can help if you develop those as a child.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, let's say you develop those for your child in the improper way. In a way that they're just
terrify them of it or scare them about it. Yeah.
Then they're just going to go run towards the other way once they're out of your nest.
Yeah. Because we see that, right? Like where it's like, I've seen
it's videos. A fine line, right?
Yeah. Where people are like, oh, well, I got overweight because when I was younger, my parents never let me have donuts. So my grandma would buy them for me and I had them under my bed and I'd eat 12 donuts at night, and it's like, well, that's not fucking good. And so I'm really careful, like with my daughter, where I'm like, yeah, you want something sweet? Go for it. You can have a little bit of it. I'll save the rest for later, something. But I really try not to be like, that's junk, that's crap, you're not supposed to eat that,
Now, there may be a child who needs it.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not going to say we're just basing off our own children.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a child who needs that because they are obsessive with it, then it may be a different thing. And like, you need to teach them how to maybe not yell at them, but like actually we can have sweets, but I'll go buy you one. We're not going to have in the house because then you're teaching them about boundaries. Yeah. Which is what we teach a lot of times here is like, well, maybe you go walk around the block and then come back. If you really want the food, then have the food.
Sure.
If you really want a bag of chips, go buy the small one at the store and then come back. And
at this point when I'm like, damn, I really want to go to this place and get a burger or something. I'm like, I'm just going to eat at home. And if I still really want a damn burger after that, maybe. But you know what? Every time I'm like, nah, I'm fine.
All right, guys. If you like what we're doing, we're on Apple, Spotify. You can rate and review us. Check us out on YouTube. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe, like, and tell us how amazing we are. Our website is strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. Email strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. You could give us future fitness questions. Social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, Strength Solutions Podcast. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Deuces.
See ya.
Peace out.